Hey folks, how's it going? Welcome to my latest reloading video. It's nice to see you back on the channel. I guess um, some of you are already familiar with my presentation. It's a bit rough, but I'm simply not a video guy, so please excuse the rough and unscripted presentation. This time I would like to show you a little setup that I built for myself in the aftermath of returning the Hornady Precision Measurement Station back to the place I bought it from. If you watched my video regarding the Hornady station, you probably know that I wasn't really happy with what I got with the Hornady station, and I realized a couple of shortcomings of the whole concept that the Hornady station is using. So I didn't really yet want to give up on the whole idea, especially because I had quite a number of different cheap Chinese and other brand dials that I had. They came with some measurement stations. I bought some extra ones. They are actually quite cheap and they work kind of well, so there's no reason for me to have any issues with how these work. So I thought maybe I should just get one of these tables, because you can get these precision measurement tables here. This one I got it off eBay, and this one I think it cost me around 80 euros, and it's one of the really nice ones. Like, this is a nicer one. This is solid granite. Like, this is a very, very smooth and flat piece of granite. This is a pretty thick and heavy steel, and this is a very nice construction. I have to say I am very happy with the construction here. Please excuse the lighting and the reflection, because it seems that these displays are very hard to get on camera. If I remove this extra light that I put here, you will see that you can actually see nothing on the display. I can read it very well from that angle, but the camera doesn't pick up anything. So I had to put an additional lighting source here, additional light source here, to get a reading on this dial. So what I built in order to make this way of measuring more efficient is I built this little, like, say, adapter that allows me to, instead of attaching, like, the Hornady station works by putting these little inserts into the bottom, then putting the loaded bullet, the loaded round, or whatever you want to measure on top. Like, for example, if I want to measure my 308 headspace, I would put the insert down here and then put the case on top, and then have a little piece, the gauge sit on top of the bullet here. And this is something, if you ask me, it's very tricky to balance out right, because you can't really get a feeling for when this surface of the case is squared up with your dial. So what I thought, it would be very, very nice to have the measuring insert on top, and then be able to square out my case on the bottom with my fingers, and get a nicer feeling for when the case is properly aligned and standing straight. So that's what I did. Let me show you. This is just a normal Hornady measuring, like, say, adapter for calipers, like this one. This one's from Sinclair, and this is the Hornady version. I think I have another one. Okay, here's another one. So this is how you get it from Hornady. And these are the headspace inserts. So all I did was I drilled a little hole in there. I wasn't quite sure if I should drill the hole all the way through, or if I should drill it like not all the way through, but it wasn't my choice that I ended up drilling it all the way through because I got a bit too excited about it. So what I did is I measured how thick the stem, the measuring finger or whatever you call it, the sense thingy of my gauge is, and then I drilled a hole that is as close to the thickness of this one into this adapter. It says 4.5 millimeters for this class and kind of measurement gauges. It seems to be pretty standard for these gauges. I know that there's some that have, like this table, for example, will only take gauges that have like an 8 millimeter thick adapter here, like an 8 millimeter tube here. A lot of the American ones, the Imperial ones, like the ones that come with the Hornady stuff, they have a thicker tube up here, so they won't fit in here. And I think they also have a different dimension for this part of the gauge. Okay, so yeah, if you want to build one of these yourself, make sure that you get the thickness of this gauge finger or gauge thingy right, and then drill a little hole in here. I gotta say, at first I thought, oh wow, it's really nice that the hole is a tiny bit thinner than this slot here, because I will still, I'm not breaking anything here. I can still use this on a pair of caliper, like on a caliper. Let me just grab one. There's nothing lost here because I can still put it on and just tighten it, and it still works. No issues at all, so nothing lost here. But to be honest, I think you're even, like, if you have a slightly thicker finger here, you might even get some additional alignment here if you have to drill a bigger hole. Okay, so what you do is, just slide it in. I made a little mark here about how far I want to go in there, and there we go. Yeah, this should be. This doesn't look right. Okay, much better. It looks a bit off on camera, but it's actually pretty straight, if you ask me. Okay. It squares up really nicely with the tube up here. Okay, so another thing to keep in mind when we're looking at this gauge now, this gauge is precise to 1/10 10,000ths of an inch. So it's 0.00005 inches. So if you're looking at that, there's a little 5 at the end for half a. The 5 in the end is not 1/10 thousandths, but it's 1/10 10,000ths. It's this gauge is unfortunately a lot more precise than we need it to, or it has a lot more digits than we need it to. This one would be perfectly fine. I just got this one out of curiosity because I wanted to see how precise and how useful these measurements are. It's like 15 euros shipped from China. But the problem with this one is the finger down here isn't long enough. Like if I slip this one on, I don't have much movement anymore. This one has a much longer measuring finger or measuring gauge or tip. Oh, measuring tip. Maybe tip is a good word for this. So the tip here is a bit short. The tip here is a lot longer. So this one works much better with this insert on top. So unfortunately, we're going to be dealing with one additional digit here. Keep that in mind when we're looking at the measurements here. And I put on the 6 Creedmoor brass thingy. Okay, this is not the one that I wanted to show. I used a little magnet to put on the wrench here. I'm going to swap this out for the 308. Okay, this is my 308 insert. Gonna screw it in. Okay, so let's do this. Move it up. And come down here. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's zero it. See, wiggle it a little bit. Okay, let's zero it. So we've got one case here. Let's see if I can put another case in, and see, that's half a thousandth. That's 0.4 thousandths. So I'm getting very, very close here to getting like good reliable measurements. Another, once again, half a thousandth. 0.1 thousandths. See, just giving you a demonstration how easy it is to square up these cases and get for what I feel are reliable measurements on these cases. This is a 0.1 thousandths. So this is 0 thousandths, 1 ten thousandths of deviation here. So if 0.3 thousandths. Oh, 0.3 thousandths. So as you see, like you've seen my previous video with the Hornady station where I was having real trouble getting measurements that I'm confident in. 0.1 thousandths. See, and this is so much easier if you line it up this way. It's also so much cheaper and it's so much more fun. Like, I am so happy with this solution and I hope you appreciate it. It's a lot cheaper. It's very flexible. And it's so much closer to what I was hoping the Hornady station would be like. So let's try something else. This was now for headspace. Let's grab the, where is it? Let's grab the Hornady one. 35, 26. Here it is. Okay. It's okay. So this is the Hornady measurement thingy. Gonna grab a couple of, these are a couple of pet loads, my 653 more pet loads. Let's see if we can get a reading on them. Okay. Zero. Okay. Like the one thing that I regret that I still would really love to see is if I could get one of these lifter tabs for up here, where you can just push on it and it was gonna raise the tip. Okay, let's try this. So it's a bit more tricky with the primers inside, but I just got back to 0.2 thousandths. Let's try this. 0.6, 0.1, well, 0.2, 0.2. Yeah. And I don't even like the aluminium Hornady inserts. Let's do two more just for fun. What I tried is I tried putting some tape on here and marking the location where the case is supposed to go. See, this is, I'm getting back to the 10 thousandths of an inch precision here. Like yeah, I mean, I don't want to overemphasize on how super precise this 15 euro China gauge is, but I take a different bullet and I'm having no problems at all squaring this one properly up to get below, like easily and repeatably below a thousandth of an inch of measurement here, which is something that I hardly ever achieved on the Hornady solution. So this way around, works much easier. It's so close to what I was hoping this is. It's probably what I was hoping this would be in the first place. You can say thanks. Hornady can say thank you, because I fixed that for you. Sorry, I didn't mean to sound so smug. I was just having fun, of course. Okay, so that's not all. This is really nice. I mean, I love the setup. This gauge is a bit extreme when it comes to the the precision that it displays. But yeah, otherwise I'd prefer like a gauge with this precision, just so that I don't have to deal with these numbers a lot. I just want to get a 1 or a 0. That's a bit easier for me. So having to deal with these numbers here, I don't think it's good for quick result checking. Okay, one disadvantage of this particular table here is if I want to remove this this gauge, I have to remove this first, and then I can pull it out. Okay, so that's the disadvantage here. I've got this other gauge here, and for this gauge I have a little flat tip here that I got from a used gauge on eBay. I did something similar to this one here, where I ground the tip down to give me more of a surface. So what you can do, for example, is you put this in here, and I might want to do something like checking the depth of the primer pocket. Okay, so what I got here is a Hornady case gauge. What I can do is I can get it here. It's really stupid. I hate these analog gauges. Sorry, I shouldn't have done that. Should have gone straight to this one. Okay, here we go. Lower it. Turn it on. Okay, it's zeroed now. See, looks much better with these. So this is classic thousandths of an inch. It's so I'm gonna get in here. Oh, okay. Gonna go further down. Okay, so zero it out. Let's see. And so this primer pocket is 128 thousandths deep. Let's check the next one. Like these one are these go no go like these like chamber gauges are really helpful when doing this. You see, like this in this particular case, I try to use these for headspace gauge, like throw the cases in and then measure. Not 100% sure if this is. I haven't done enough testing to get confidence on this one yet, and the other way of doing it works really nicely. So how do we do here? 128. Yep, there we go, 128. Next one. Okay, what do we have here? See, okay, yeah. Sometimes I have like, depending on which side of the case I measure it. Okay, in this case not, but sometimes it depends on which side of the case I measure it. Let's just zero on the rim again, and then measure the pocket, and it's another 128 thousandths of an inch deep primer pocket. And this also works great for measuring the seating depth of your primers. Do you have an example? I don't think I have any seated primers around here. Yeah, but you catch my drift. Like you do it exactly the same way. Just put it here. Put the tip on the rim. You can also use a more pointy tip for this one. I have a pointy tip up here that I can just put in. It's on a little magnet here, so I can just swap the tips. I die for one of these push thingies where you push it and it just lifts the tip up. That would be great. Okay, anyway. So you put the tip on the rim, you zero it, you measure the primer seating depth, and so you can. This is a very easy way to get very precise primer seating depth measurements without getting the special tools for it. I mean, there's obviously special tools for it that do a great job, but I'm probably going to do it this way for a while now until I have the feeling that I do need a special precision measuring tool. So this is another great tool I got from Sinclair a while ago, I think. This is a little tool that has holes drilled in here to measure bullets by the ogive. So I can just put it here. I'm going to put the 26 facing up. Going to grab a couple of CNR bullets here, and when we can be doing some CNR bullet measurements here. Okay. Very easy to get this done. You get this one thing here, you get this one tool here, and you can measure all kinds of bullets. And I'm rather happy with the results. Sometimes I have the impression that like you can kind of chisel them in there and kind of mess up your measuring results. Like it's very important to kind of sit them in there with the same amount of force and drop distance than you've done before, and then you will get very consistent results here. Like just like lay them in there, don't drop them in there, and you will get consistent results if your bullets are consistent. See? Now see, this one is something that I was sought out. See, it wasn't stuck in here, but it was still giving me. I mean, if I was going for very, very uniform bullets, this would probably be a candidate to be selected. And then there's another thing which is even better when considering this kind of stuff. Sinclair sells these bullet sorting bases that you can get. And the nice thing about these is, give me a second. What these will do, apart from being very, very sturdy and solid on your measuring table, they will actually they kind of take the bullet in a bit deeper than you might think is necessary, but they also give the bullet a lot more guidance. So let's compare the 30 here and the 30 here. It's both from Sinclair. So this one's more meant to be like sitting on top, and I think this one's originally marketed as something that you use your calipers with. So you put your calipers on top and the calipers on the bottom. Where this is was always meant to be used in such a similar measuring stand. Sinclair has something like this in their product range. So what this will do is aligning the bullet a bit nicer. See, it's guiding the bullet, and that's really nice because this one can also be used with loaded rounds. I experimented with it. I prefer to have the ogive measurement tool or the shoulder measurement insert coming down from the top and squaring up the case with the granite base down here, like squaring up the case head with the granite base here. But for bullets, this is really nice. These aren't even expensive. They're like 10-20 euros. So I'm planning to get a couple more of these for different calibers. Currently, I could only get the 30 caliber one in stock. So we can just do a couple of measurements here. It's always important to just make sure you always. Holy, what's up here? Zero this one again. Huh. Okay. Weird. Let's try some other bullets. I'm not sure how. Maybe Hornady is a bit they don't want this station to work well, I guess. Here we go. Okay, let's try someone who doesn't have anything to do with this game. Sinclair. Okay, Sinclair. Whoop. To go down a bit deeper. Okay, zeroed it. There we go. That's what I want to see. Kinda. No. No. I don't know. What's wrong with this thing? Yeah. I don't know what's wrong with this thing. I mean, this is... There we go again. Okay. I don't know what's been going on here. Maybe I have to twist it a little bit. Okay, we're getting better, more consistent measurements now. I just refuse to believe that there's a... we're 10 thousandths off here. Maybe I have to... what I might want to do is kind of give these surfaces here a slight polish with like a little bit of polishing cream, just to make sure that any burrs or any other issues that might give me seating inconsistencies here are dealt with. So this seems like it's been dropped. It's certainly not by me. Yeah, I might want to touch up these surfaces a little bit. Okay, I'm getting carried away. Really sorry. I didn't mean to get sidetracked here. This one also works great for me. These you've seen this one work great on when coming down from the top, measuring anything with a brass case. So for bullets, I prefer, if you do bullet measurements, I prefer to have something to set the bullets into, and then measuring to the tip of the bullet with something like, I wouldn't use one of these pointy tips. You can use you can just grind down one of these pointy tips to give you a bit more of a surface here, so that you have a more even contact point to the base of your bullet. You don't want to point in here because there's a small inconsistencies on the base here. So kind of grinding it down or getting one of these flat tips here is a good idea. So yeah, measuring the bullets, I recommend putting them down, the tip down, and measuring to the base, and I get some kind of flat tip. But measuring anything with cased or loaded rounds, I really prefer to have this setup here, where I put my gauge in, move all the way up, and gonna get this one in, and there we go, and we can have our measurements here. Oh wait, down. See it? Yeah. So the whole measuring table here, everything except for the gauge and the head here, cost me I think around 80 euros. This gauge here with the 10 thousandths, like half a 10 thousandths of an inch of precision, cost me like 15 or 20 euros shipped. This one, which is at least as usable from its measuring range with half a thousandths, cost me I think roughly the same. Also, I think 15 euros or something like that. And I haven't been disappointed by these yet. This one, I don't even know. I'll show you what I really love, but I can't use. See, I want to get one of these. I would die for one of these little tabs here, because they would be so great. You could just tap it up, put something below, gently drop it, and get your nice measurements. But unfortunately, as you can see, this tube here is a lot thicker than these 8mm that go in here, so I can't use this on this measuring table. So make sure when you get your measuring table that it fits your gauges. Okay, yeah. So this seems to be the more common gauge tube for America, or for the for the inch thingy world. These 8mm things, for example, I think the Mitutoyo ones and the European ones tend to be the 8mm. Yeah. So, and one other thing that I also already mentioned in the Hornady video is for these kind of like comparative measurements, I just love digital gauges. You can just zero them out and you can just get a difference, and you don't have to look at these stupid things. They give you a number and they're much easier to read than they look on camera. Like with this light here, it kind of works okay, but without the light the camera doesn't pick it up really nicely. Okay, talked enough. Thanks very much for sticking around for so long. I hope you enjoyed this video. It was a lot of fun to make, and I hope this helped you. Thanks very much for watching, and yeah,